Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. This is the next of my Festive Friday projects, and it is a cute little two-tone gift box with a simple Merry Christmas stamped on the top, a little bit of ribbon, slide that off, and we've got some tea lights, scented tea lights in there. Okay, so as I said, this is one of my Festive Friday projects. I started this series of projects in September. We are now midway through November and I'm still going. I'm quite impressed. So I'm going to make another one. This time I am going to use crumb cake again for the base, but I'll use copper clay for the lid. The designer series paper I used on this one, which is boho blue and crumb cake, comes from this gorgeous One Horse Open Sleigh designer series paper pack. It has some beautiful scenes on it, and I specifically cut the paper to make the most of the bit I wanted to show. This is the one I'm going to use for this box, and I am going to use make sure I've got that little fox in there. So let's get on with it. I need my paper trimmer, and this is just a piece of card from my collection, so it's not a full sheet of A4 obviously. I want my base to be 6 3/4 inches by 3 5/8, so that's 3 1/2, and then 2 little notches takes it, so it's the mark in between 3 1/2 and 3 3/4 is your 3 5/8. I want to score that. Let's get that cutting blade out of the way, line that edge up at the 1 inch mark, and then just score all 4 sides at 1 inch. And that's the base prepared. Now for the lid. This is a full sheet, so I'm going to do the shortest measurement first. I'm going to do this at 3 3/16. So that is it 3 3/16? Let me just double check that. Yes, it's fine. 3 3/16. So 1, 2, 3 of the small marks on there. Cut that, and this way I want to be 6 5/16. So that's 6 1/4 and a little bit. What I am actually doing on my Stampin' Up trimmer is line that piece. Because you've got the join there, it's difficult to know, so I'm just lining that up at just the start of that white piece there, and hope that works. So again, cutting blade out the way. This time I'm scoring at 3/4 of an inch. On all 4 sides. And then before I put my trimmer away, I will just cut my designer series paper. I want to trim that so that we've got the fox quite near the bottom of the bit I'm going to use, and I want this to be 1 5/8. And that is to be 4 3/4. Okay, so we're only leaving a tiny margin around on that lid. Okay, perfect. Now I want to use my bone folder and my snips, and I will get my glue when I'm ready for it to assemble this. So first of all, burnishing all of your score lines. On your lid and on your base. And that's one of the good things about using two different colours, is it's easier to distinguish between your base and the lid. Okay, little bit of chopping. So I'm cutting along that score line just to that horizontal score line and taking a little wedge off either side of the square tab there. Okay, and I'm going to do that on all four corners of both the base and the lid. Straight up, little wedge, slightly bigger wedge. Straight along that score line, take it out. There we go. Right. Same again for the base. No, the lid rather. Just done the base. You will see a link to my blog post in the description for this video, and you'll be able to get all of the measurements and the products I've used from that blog post. Also in the description I will put a link to my playlist for my Festive Fridays 2023 projects. So there's quite a few in there now, as I started in September. And I'll keep going for as long as I can. Up until Christmas, obviously. There's no point doing them after that. Right, so glue. Adding some glue to this tab and to this one. And I'm just folding that around, line up that edge there and give that a press. Same at that side. Okay, and then you can give it a press with your bone folder to make sure you've got it well adhered. Okay. And then we're doing the same at the other end. I like to try and get my glue quite close to the edge, but not so that it's going to squeeze out. But if you put your glue too far down, then you've got a little bit, sometimes it gapes. There we are. That is the base made. You can pop those 3 Yankee tea lights in there. I am going to do just a tiny little bit of stamping with copper clay. I wanted the designer series paper to be the main focus, which is why I've not bothered putting it around about the edge on there. I just wanted to show that little scene there, and on this one I stamped with Night of Navy and put on some boho blue ribbon and gems, and I don't know if you can see it, but there is some Wink Stella on there as well for a little bit of glimmer on the snow. So for this one, and that's going to go on there. Again, I just want to use my small sentiment. This is from Cottage Wreaths, and this time I am using copper clay to match the card. Just have that lined up And oh, I've got rather a lot of ink on that edge. Let's try not smudge it anywhere. There we go, lovely. I'll put that out of my way. And then this can get glued onto the lid, and then we will fit the lid around about the box. Okay. And there we are. It just fits in with the tiniest of margins around about it. That's exactly what we wanted. So we are going to add some glue to each of these tabs just as normal. Just do 2 of them at a time. Get that closer to the edge there. That may be a bit too close. Let me just use that as a glue spreader. Right, so that tucks round and then that tucks up, and we've got a nice, good fitting lid. Okay, so again, hold it in place for a moment or two, and then we'll do the same on this side here. Okay, so if I move that out the way, you'll be able to see a bit better. A little bit of glue on there. So by adding that 1/16 of an inch, I know it's a bit of a pain, but it does give you a really snug fitting box that is not too tight that you can't get it off and on, but is also not too loose that it will fall off at a moment's notice. Okay, so let's take that out. I told you it was snug. And again, I'll just press those, try not to move them around because we've got them in place. And sometimes when you do it this way, oh, I've got glue on there, I'll take that off later, you get a tiny little bit of an overhang there. But that is hunky-dory. Really good tight fit. And I will clean up that glue in a moment. You're really better leaving it to dry. Just take that tackiness off. Right, so ribbon. I do not have any of the copper clay ribbon, but I do have this burlap ribbon. It comes in a set with real red. Let's just detach them because I'm not using the red, although it might be quite nice. And I don't want to obscure that cute fox, so we'll just do a little knot on this. We are lovely. And the ribbon scissors are here, just give it a little bit over the edge, like so. And I used these adhesive back solid gems and used the boho blue for my first box. This one I'm going to use the copper clay. So we've got a nice big one there. We can put him there, and I'll put a little one beside it, and then I'll go for a medium one over there, and I think that will be enough. I am, however, going to find my link of Stella. There she is. And I'm just going to add a little bit along there so that the snow is still glistening away. little dots round and about as well. And there we go. We have two versions of the same box with 3 tea light candles for my Festive Friday project for today. If you've enjoyed this, please do give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please click on the subscribe button, click on the bell, and you'll get a notification the next time I upload a tutorial. Until then, please do take care. Bye bye.